Hello, welcome back to the Pub Test Podcast. I'm your host, Fletcher. And over here, we've got a very happy man. Hasn't worn his Collingwood stuff in today. Tommy C, my co-host.
Hello. I mean, you again describe yourself as the host, Fletch. I don't think you figured out that you are the co-host. But yes.
You can be the host for today because Collingwood won.
Thank you. I'll run the show. Give me the floor 45 minutes. I reckon talk about the grand final for 45 minutes. But before I do, we have brought back Corey. Hello.
Yeah, back again.
Riley was unfortunately a late omission due to he got back from Greece a couple of days ago, but he was unwell. So hello, Riley. Hope you're feeling better.
Alcohol withdrawal is kicking in.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that.
He called it the cold, but yeah, maybe it was alcohol. But nice seeing him at cricket last night. So I'll say alive and well, but he's not that well at the moment. But we're playing golf in 2 days. Hopefully he's well by Friday.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Fletch, did you enjoy the game on Saturday?
I enjoyed watching you stress about the game. It was actually a phenomenal game. It was a phenomenal game.
Absolute cracker. Best I can think of since a year that never happened.
Never happened. Nah.
Yeah,
We're 2017, 2019.
Yeah.
2017 to 2019.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Never
Did it happen
Never
now?
happened.
Would you be willing to go back and watch a replay now that you like it's all sweet and all well now?
I'd give
You
Dom
got
Sheet a
one
kiss now. I'd give Dom Sheet a kiss
Would
now.
you really?
No, I wouldn't. Fuck
I'm
that
going to
prick.
put that on a t-shirt.
No, but it's easy to talk about now that we won a close one. But I think the scars of Dom Sheed were most certainly with me grand final day. I don't think I've ever been more nervous in my entire life. I think the amount of people that said to me, Corey, were, Tommy, why aren't you enjoying the game? Why are you up and about? I was just that visibly ill the entire game. I just couldn't enjoy it. Like, I just couldn't. So I was able to go back and watch it on Sunday, and that's where I cried because I was just so I cried. I was able to properly enjoy it. Yeah, of happiness, yes. But I was just so nervous that I couldn't enjoy it until Sunday. But yeah, one of the great grand finals, boys.
So tears were actually shed on that day after. That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So on the day I didn't because it was just like relief that we won. But yeah, the next day I was able to properly enjoy it, watch celebrations, and yeah, that's where they were
Pure
welling up a
euphoria.
bit of waterworks. But it was best day of my life by a country mile, boys.
That's fantastic.
Start with quarter one, Tommy. Give us a rundown of what happened in the first quarter.
I mean, Collingwood did what they've done all three finals, or two finals. Well, now three, is start well in first quarters. And it dated back to last year against Geelong. We did it as well. So we just start well in first quarters. And, 2-goal lead, wasn't it? I think
10 points.
10 points. So I think Brisbane did well to hang around because I thought that first half, the quarter Collingwood kind of dominated, just didn't get enough of the score on. But Zach Bailey's pretty handy to the great grand final goals.
Made the most of their opportunities, didn't they?
Yep. 3 straight to 4-4.
Yeah.
So Collingwood could win it up a bit more.
That was the story of the whole game, as we'll talk about. But
Do you reckon that would have been goal of the year had it not been in a grand final?
Yeah.
I heard that flag during the week.
I mean, Paul Curtis
Ashcroft was very good.
Yeah, it was.
Paul Curtis did similar and didn't win it. I thought Paul Curtis' goal was better than Ashcroft's. So I would say no, but it'd be in the 3. I think it would have beaten
Houston's.
It would have beaten Houston's.
Yeah, right.
I thought,
Golf the siren in the wet from 60.
You liked that one, did you?
It was a fair bomb
Yeah, it was fair crack.
after the siren to win the game
I'm just more
from
used
60.
To, yeah, I guess we're just more used to seeing those sort of flashy, almost lucky goals.
That's a good point. The flashy
which
one
I like
always
to see more.
wins. No,
Yeah.
I think you're right there. The flashy one always wins. I just thought Ashcroft's was pure luck, and I guess that's why I don't appreciate it as much as Curtis and Houston, just because I thought he just kind of threw on his boot and hoped, and it worked. But I mean,
But it's like the fact that it
It
worked.
was pretty good.
A lot of the
But,
best goals
yeah.
of the year are lucky, man.
That's a good point. Yeah, it has to be an element of luck. But yeah, I think it would have made the top 3 for sure. Like that was at the time they needed it was unreal.
Did he run too far?
Yes. Pretty blatantly, obviously.
Is
running
it
out.
steps or meters?
It's
It's
meters.
It's
meters.
meters, but if you count steps, then there's a kind of average. Like isn't it 17 steps? It's pretty much is
Yeah,
about
it's
what
like
you should
it's
be
50
doing.
is it 15
Yeah.
meters.
50 meters.
15 meters.
15 meters.
Then it must be like 12 steps.
Something like, yeah. So it's 15 meters. But yeah, and even his first goal was from on the run from 45 on a sharp angle. Like that was unreal. They just kick good goals all day, Brisbane.
Yeah.
McCarthy from the boundary, 2 from Bailey from the boundary. They just kicked unreal goals. And they kicked very little behind. They were very efficient, and I think that's what Collingwood's defence hasn't looked. It's probably the leakiest they've looked, but it was just great Brisbane goals. I don't think Collingwood defence did a lot wrong. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty tough to watch when Collingwood. I think they had the ascendancy for. I thought saying the ascendancy might be a bit strong, but I thought they were slightly better for almost all day. But as Brisbane just found ways to kick goals, you could say against run of play, but it was so nip and tuck. It's probably unfair to say it's against run of play.
It was pretty much smack bang even all day from my point of view. Apart from the first quarter, I think, as you said, first 10 minutes Collingwood dominated. I mean, the only quarter you won outscored
It was first, yeah.
was the first.
I didn't realise that until listening to SEN. I was listening to Healy, Jared Waitley, and David King. Only quarter we won for the whole game was the first quarter.
So, like, that's how close it was. It was just so even.
Yeah.
I know that Collingwood had 18 behinds, but you had 5 rushes too. So, you kind of like, they're not really a scoring shot. But at the same time, as I don't know, it was just back and forth. I want to talk about Norm Smith. It was either Bobby Hill won it fair and square, but behind that, I couldn't pick who came second. Like, it was just so many people, so even. There was so many contributors. There was 2 and 3 goals from so many people. There was 20 touches and 30 touches from so many people. I just think it was so even and such a good grand final.
It was. I guess it was surprising. I'm not sure I was talking about it. That it was the most clearances Collingwood's had, like clearance, like in a game, like total clearances, for a long time. Yet the midfielders didn't dominate from either side. Like Dacos had 29. I didn't think it was amazing 29. The Brisbane mids didn't dominate. It was a surprise for how many clearances there were in the game between the two teams. Neither midfield dominated. I thought it was a lot of rucks kind of clearing the area. McInerney, Cox, were both just trying to surge footy, but I don't think either midfield dominated, Corey.
Yeah, no, that's fair to say. I mean, the difference for me in the game, or at least what I noticed almost straight away off the bat, was Collingwood's ball movement was a lot sort of more efficient and faster than what it has been in the last few weeks. I remember telling you straight after the game, Tommy, if you told me before the day started that Collingwood was going to win and score 90 points, I would have told you you're kidding yourself. I thought they were going to have to shut up shop to win, but they effectively won a bit of a shootout in the end.
Which, yeah, you're right. Like I because Collingwood won with 50 and 68, like 60 and 58. Like I just couldn't imagine us kicking not like 80 points, let alone 90.
Yeah.
And to outshoot them was really surprising. But Fletch.
I mean, at end of the fourth quarter, Brisbane, I think we were almost a better team in the fourth quarter. It almost went on its head, and Brisbane kicked a few behinds. So Kadeem Coleman kicked the behind, Joe Danhurt, then Kadeem Coleman, and then Eric Hitwood kicked the behind, and that was like crucial. One of those needed to be a goal. That was in like the last. Well, it says 14 minutes here, but I think that's 14 minutes into time on.
Kitty Coleman had options when he had that pinger goal.
Yeah, and then Charlie Cameron kicked the goal, and that brought it close, but then bang to go here, side bottom was massive, absolutely huge. But I just feel like one of those goals need to go through, and that's probably the difference in the game at the end of the day, which is harsh. But
it's Collingwood's ability to play the clock. That's how I reckon it is. They shut up shop very early in that game, Collingwood. With about 10 minutes to go, they looked like they were happy to lock the ball down, not score. And I was thinking, like, it's a bit early to be doing that. So Brisbane were bound to hit the front at some point. But you saw as soon as they managed to hit the front, Brisbane, Collingwood flicked that switch and bang, they score straight away. They're able to clear out a stoppage and De Goey goes whack. Yeah,
that's one of that Dacos to De Goey will be one of the great grand final goals. I don't know how Dacos. I think it was an interview where he said he wanted to punch it, but then he heard De Goey say on your right, and to do that, to show that slickness in handball. Like everyone's saying how good De Goey's goal was, but the fact that Dacos got it to him. And for Collingwood's inaccuracy, we kicked like 6 goals from outside 50. Like I think it was crisp twice, De Goey, side bottom. Like we were inaccurate, but then our goals came from 55 metres out.
Both teams kicked some tough goals.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I missed some easy ones too.
Tell me about it.
Who from the week from that game do you think was a bit of an unsung hero? I know we got the Bobby Hill Norm, but who was? I think there's a lot of people that you could give some kudos that did contribute a lot to their team winning. And I'll start with like Tom Mitchell. Brought him in, traded, well not really traded for him, but found a spot for him when really no one wanted him. I know you're a Hawthorn fan, but no one in the
Hawthorn didn't want him.
Well, no one in the league wanted him apart from
I didn't
Collingwood.
really want him. It's fine.
So comes in and shows his worth by having lots of clearances, controlling the stoppages with the balls of Dunkley, O'Neill around the ball.
The tackles.
he was
13
fantastic.
tackles. Was it 13 tackles? Something ridiculous like that?
I can check for you.
But I'm glad you mentioned him because I wanted to myself. I think he started the year really hot, and then definitely after the bye, he tapered off. He was subbed out twice. He was the sub once, and it was like, is he too slow? And then, on Saturday, I thought he went under the radar. Like, I didn't realise he had 24 touches and 13 tackles, so I looked at it on the stats. That, like, I guess you see how good Dacos and Crisp and Pendles in the last quarter, DeGoey in the last quarter, but it was Mitchell feeding out to him. And I think, it's Collingwood's, I think, a great way to lead into Collingwood's list management strategy. How many players in this game they got for peanuts? Hill, Mitchell, Markov, McStay, I wouldn't count him because we're paying like $500,000 a year for him. But
You're paying more than $500,000, sure.
I
think it's $3 million over 6 years. Was it? Something like that.
I thought he'd be at least.
But
800.
no, I don't think it's that high. But yeah, he doesn't count because he's not getting peanuts. But so just to find players that either aren't wanted or want a fresh start. Bobby Hill's the epitome of wanting a fresh start. He wasn't bad at Giants, but he's revolutionised himself. Same with Tom Mitchell. Markov wasn't on a list. How funny was he wearing that Carlton gear to
yeah, man,
that's sensational.
That's funny. He's on the funny. He's one of the biggest characters in the league. But Collingwood's list strategy. I mean, we've been slated for the Grundy contracts and Talor and stuff. So it's finally nice to win one, Fletch.
It is interesting that you've been able to do it while doing that. Who's your unsung hero for the day?
Gee, I had time to think about it. I mean, he's not really unsung, but it's Jack Crisp.
He was very good.
I didn't realise how good he is in grand finals. We see on the couch, he's the third best in grand finals in like the century.
But that's only two grand finals.
Was it grand finals or finals?
I don't know. I think you said grand finals just then.
I thought I was listening to it on the way here, so I didn't get to see it. But I feel like it's finals, and like he's on a list with Swan, Rioli, Bartel, Goods,
Surely
Dusty's number one.
Yeah,
so like he's on a list with all those guys, and then there's Jack Crisp, who was everyone says the steak knives of the Beams deal. That has to be one of the best value deals ever.
It's really hard to know.
It's impossible to judge, but he was literally just the little cherry on top, I guess, a sweetener. So, unreal. I mean,
Dave Eads was very good at Brisbane for the time he was there. Did come like first, second in the BNF there.
He's head player.
He was a captain for a while.
He was captain.
Brisbane was shit house, and then
they
obviously life came around the corner.
Correct.
Anyway, Corey, your unsung hero from the game. It could be Brisbane or Collingwood.
Yeah, I mean, Tom Mitchell and Jack Crisp were straight away the first two people that came to mind for me. If I had to go otherwise, I mean, Kitty Coleman was very good, but look, I don't know. I don't have another one for you. Like in terms of pies, I don't have one. But Kitty Coleman comes to mind for me. I thought he was really, really good for Brisbane.
Yeah.
I don't reckon they're anywhere near it without him in that first half.
I mean, he had 13 touches in the first quarter. So for me, I think I would have said from them Kitty Coleman for sure.
Yeah.
Can you say Billy Frampton? Now I know that's going to come a bit of flack. Andrews had one intercept mark in 3 quarters. One.
Oh, it's controversial, isn't it?
And then the last quarter, he gave away a few free kicks. Andrews took 3 intercept marks, and Brisbane almost won the game.
He did nothing good, but he also did a lot to contribute to the win.
If you were to tell me in 3 quarters he'd have 1 intercept mark, you're biting your hand off for it.
Yeah, no, but he did drop that mark.
He should have kicked the goal.
And there was a few other instances where kind of fucked up.
Last quarter, he gave away a lot of free kicks. He was poor in the last quarter, but for 3 quarters, he was unreal.
Unreal is not the right word.
In terms of his role, Andrews was barely cited.
He played a role very well. He wasn't unreal. Let's be honest.
I'd have to go back and watch it, but how many times, honestly, did he nullify him at contests? I just didn't. And I know
a lot of packs, wasn't it? It wasn't a lot of one-on-one stuff.
Yeah,
it was a lot of it was a lot of pack stuff where it's a little bit easier to nullify.
Yeah, and it might be sort of the stuff that you don't see. Like he might have dragged him away from those sort of contests, and that's why I'm not seeing him. But
I think you make a good point there.
There wasn't many times where Andrews was sort of.
I think you're right. Yeah, it's fair.
To take a mark and Frampton.
The interceptor wasn't really there at all. Like for both teams, have really good intercept markers. I feel like
Darcy
Moore's
Moore
quiet.
Yeah,
there's just so much. Normally say there's pressure, so then an intercept mark would thrive on that pressure on the ball, but it just seemed like there was always someone there to spoil them or stop them from having a turnover mark and spread it down the other way. So it's a good game of footy. It was actually a fantastic game of footy.
Mate, it was a cracker. Absolute classic.
You reckon?
Oh, it was pretty good.
You're only saying that because...
And,
are we going to talk about the advantage?
Yeah. I wanted to talk about the umpire. I was about to bring up the umpiring. It was not great, was it?
I didn't think it was that bad, to be honest.
I thought the high tackle rule was incredibly poorly adjudicated. There were some ducking ones that were paid, some ducking that were not.
Yeah.
Do you remember Cox getting a fine?
Nah.
Cox got a fine for a bump where the Brisbane player literally ducked to less than 90 degrees. Like bad. Cox, he ran into Cox with
Was
his
that
head.
Darcy Cameron's?
It was Gardner who died.
Yeah,
Gardner
Gardner,
and
sorry.
Cox.
Gardner.
But so I just thought and it's funny because we're obviously with Luke wasn't a fan of Dacos. Luke Sherry wasn't a fan of Dacos' first duck. The funny thing is he had worse ducks later in the game.
He had plenty of ducks. Dacos.
Yeah, he's a big manipulator of the high tackle. But I just thought in general they were just poor. Even Tom Mitchell at the end, he ducked into that. So I think it was both teams. Collingwood probably got that a little bit luckier, and the advantage Fletch was just not an advantage, was it? It wasn't.
But you have grey area in the rules because you called it advantage instead of like a set action. It's just an opinion.
I just think it's another really hot one. Markov was really hot. That stand one just wasn't stand.
It was hot, yeah.
You didn't even stop. You didn't stop. Umpires meant to wait till you stop. Markov did not stop once. So that was hot, but then the advantage was... You can't say it cost Brisbane the game, but gee whiz, the way Dunham was playing, 60 metres out.
I mean, it would be nice to have a B70 out and kick the ball over the amount of the mark instead of kicking over your head to
It would have
6.
been a free kick to Neil, wouldn't it? I don't know.
No, but Neil would have kicked it on top of Dunham's head.
Oh,
Dunham would have marked us.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Dunham would have marked us the way he was playing. He had an unreal game, Dunham. But
was-
I mean, I just see it as a bit of retribution from Dom Sheed. So that's what I'm seeing it as. That we deserve your luck.
Nah, it's a tough game. It's a tough game to umpire, let's be honest with you. And at the same time, you can't sit there and nitpick on these moments like that. I know it is a big moment because it's very late, but at the same time, it's number one, Zach Bailey can't hear the whistle. It's too loud to hear the whistle. And number two, we have these grey areas in our rules, and eventually they're going to rear its ugly head. And it's unfortunate that it's in the last 30 seconds of a grand final, which more often than not, we always look at those moments like that. Happens throughout the year. Not going to a score review because we just don't have a policy to do that every time it goes within a metre. It's just something that's in our game, the imperfection in our game.
Yeah.
We don't play with the round ball, we play with the
doesn't
friggin'
really
oval.
get spoken about until it's a close game.
Exactly right.
Correct.
So
Until it costs someone a game.
Yep.
But that's what we seem to like in our game, that the imperfections of our game. We don't sit here and make a rule that is holding the ball is if you have it for 3 seconds. There's a clear 3 seconds is the rule. If you have it and you get tackled, then you're gone. We say no, it's prior opportunity. Well, my prior, your prior, his prior, it's all
Great, yeah.
It's all different opinions. So
We do.
the imperfections of the game is kind of what is the beauty of our game. So
Take the good with the bad.
pretty
what you're
much,
saying?
yeah. Swings and roundabouts, baby.
Yep.
Won't be talking about it in 10 years.
No way.
Yes, we will.
Yeah, probably. Probably will be. Yeah.
I'll bring it up.
What else are we going to talk about this game? You want to have maybe a shout out to everyone?
Do you have anyone you'd like to thank, Tom?
Yeah.
No. I mean, the Craig McRae is a pretty good way to
What
start
about Nathan Buckley in this situation?
Yes, I've been listening to a bit of SEN during the week, and gee, that'd be hard. And he's been pretty open saying that it was hard. He was obviously really happy, but also a bit sad. So he's been very open about it, which is fair play to him. But
As a Collingwood, I personally think Craig McRae is a fair judge. I'm not trying to take it away from him, but Bucks laid down the foundations of this team, in my opinion. Because when he got sacked because they couldn't score the footy. No matter, they could not score the footy. And for whatever reason, I think it was 8 years or 10 years he'd been coaching the side. Messages get lost on the team. You can't pull the heartstrings like you used to be able to. Your voice gets old and you just can't quite motivate your players like you used to. But he always had them as a solid defence. Even when he got sacked, they would have been close to number one defence in the league. It was they were losing games 38-35. But they couldn't score the footy. And that's ultimately why he got sacked. So it's handy when you can take over a football club and we talk about defence wins premierships or give you an opportunity to win premierships. And it's handy when you can take over a football side that is very strong and defensively minded, and you can just open up the floodgates and get them to score. But they've always got the defence to fall back on.
because you always see with new coaches, they go defence first.
Well, all the ones that don't succeed, what's the Bombers coach?
Chris Scott.
No, last year's one that got sacked.
Oh,
Ratton. You want to try to get offense first
Yeah.
and just get blown out every game. It didn't work. I mean, you look at the Dogs, the ebbs and flows.
Yeah.
They've always gone offense first, and the ebbs and
Yeah.
flows that come along. So,
Yeah, you don't need to reinvent the wheel here. You've got to be sound defensively.
and
be
he
able to
took over a
compete.
side that was very sound defensive.
Yeah.
And I think it's he was unlike their scoring ability, but what Buckley's strength was defense, and I think it's carried on throughout the years. And Craig Rage just pulled some few more strings and
No doubt.
got them to be able to score 120 and 110 every now and again. So
Yeah.
for sure.
I think it's a bit of credit for him.
Experienced list too. Like it's a good list for McRae to pick.
I think it's the third oldest grand final winning list in a long, long time.
Really?
I think it was of all time. It
Deceptively
was all
old,
time.
the Pies, yeah.
Of all time, I
Really?
guess. Well, you got Pendle's about 45. Sidebottom's old, so you got a few old players, I guess. But
Mitchell.
the third oldest of all time, to the flag.
I wouldn't have thought that,
I'm
but I
pretty
do
sure,
agree they're old. But they've still got some youngsters. Like
Yeah.
They have very talented youngsters. I think their list was older than Geelong's this year. I'd have to look that up, but I swear I saw somewhere that it was.
Last year Geelong was the oldest ever,
Yeah.
but in Collingwood went for third for the oldest
Damn.
ever. So yeah, you're right. Probably would have been this year because they did have a few of the old players out. But yes, go Pies, Fletch. I'm wearing my actually, question for you boys: how long is it appropriate for me to wear my Collingwood scarf to work?
Well, it's just not appropriate.
I work
stuff.
at PWS, by the way, and there's a few other fellow workers that also wear it. How long is appropriate?
No more than a week, I would say.
A week?
So
Yeah.
you're done after this Saturday.
I was gonna go 2.
See, if you went for like a team like the Saints or something, I'd let you wear it all year. But you know, the sort of reception Pies fans get around.
Yes,
You know.
yes,
Especially
I do.
Doncaster.
especially the drunks. I had someone come in on Friday. It was Tuesday night. I was a bit drunk, and he.
Did you give him the alcohol?
I did. No, he wasn't. He
That's
was.
just
not
incriminate
responsible.
yourself?
Yeah.
Just incriminate yourself.
He wasn't drunk. He was boisterous though, and he was like a Carlton supporter, and he let me know that he
Was he drunk or boisterous? You caught him drunk to start.
boisterous. And it was a Friday night before the grand final. He was let me know that he hoped Collingwood lost and Carlton were robbed, and he was really loud. But he wasn't drunk.
Just push.
Victorian Police, not drunk, just loud. But so you reckon a week is a long
I think week's enough.
For you, yes.
for me?
Yeah, for you.
And the fact there's so many Collingwood supporters too. Just one week.
So I was like, because I work next to Woolies, and there's about 3 Woolies staff.
You don't want eye rolls, mate.
Yeah, I don't want. As soon as someone says, "Gee, it happened 2 weeks ago," then I'll be taking it straight off. As soon as someone tells me it's been a while,
Just walk in there next week and say, "Geez,
Gee,
that happened 2 weeks ago."
but still
If I-
wearing it.
If I walked into my local bottle next week and someone was wearing a Pies scarf, I'd probably turn around and find someone else to go.
Good for you, Corey.
God,
It's not worth it.
not worth it.
Nah.
Cheapers.
Not worth it. Okay, give us Brisbane and Collingwood. Give us we'll do a season review for them. So give a letter grading of how the season went.
I mean, do we have to say Collingwood's? Can we set together?
A+.
Yes, obviously.
Oh, yeah. No, it's
Co-
going to be an A+.
A lot of Collingwood missing the 8, Corey. I had them finishing like 7th or 8th. A lot of people had Collingwood missing the 8. So to win
Not
the
a lot.
flag, it's A+++++.
Yeah, it's A+.
Plus.
Relax.
No one had us win the flag.
I reckon a few had you win the flag.
No, 1 or 2.
You Collingwood, so of course I would have had you win the flag.
I actually remember seeing one person did it, a media person. I can't remember who though, but someone said he would.
Kingy just fucking right.
Kingy loves. He put money on Collingwood or something so the year. He loves Collingwood.
He loved him until the last 4 rounds of the
Yeah,
season.
and then he jumped off.
Hopped off.
Jumped off.
Although
Yeah.
every team he hopped off had a little bit of a resurgence.
There you go.
Don't cash out.
No.
Fletcher, you said A+, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all agreed
Yeah,
on A+.
there's no doubt teams that win flags get A+.
I think so. Fletcher, I want to hear yours with Brisbane because you hinted it to us before we started, and I was absolutely gobsmacked. So can you please reveal what you had Brisbane's season grade at?
Oh, okay. I said before we got on the podcast they're probably a C to C plus because of the fact that after the acquisition they made during the year, that the grand final was pretty much bare minimum for them. That was a pass mark. Now I do understand we did a conversation that it's pretty much an A plus because they win the premiership. They're within a kick, or it's a C, isn't it? So it's kind of a hard one to judge. But at the same time, they passed in terms of the fact that they didn't lose another prelim and they got into the grand final. So it's probably a bit harsh to say C. So I did end up probably going with like a B-ish. B. I'll give it a B.
B.
Yeah.
B.
Corey?
I'm sitting with the A- territory, I guess. Yeah,
same.
I expected them to be. I'm always really bullish about it. Like teams that get to prelims have done a pretty good job as it is. Winning those prelims, anything can happen there. So to make a grand final just puts you straight into the A for me.
Agree.
Being a kick away and being still a relatively young list. A lot of their players are pretty young and they've got a lot of good experience now. So Yeah, sky's the limit for him next year, I reckon.
Yeah,
He'll be pushing the Lions.
Agree. I've only got an A- just because everyone's saying they're not going to get an easier. They're not going to get a better chance to win it. You know, two. Yeah, that probably is wrong. But everyone was saying like 2 home finals at the Gabba.
And if they finish top 2 next year, they'll get the same thing.
Yeah, I know. So but.
Yeah, they're not blowing it up, are they?
No.
It's
So
not some sort of last dance.
Correct. I was going A- just because I honestly couldn't even tell you. I like Corey. I just think when winning a prelim puts you straight to the A category because it's just so hard to win a prelim final, especially from 5 goals down like they were. So for me, yeah, A-. Only reason why I haven't gone more is because they'll probably entered the finals in better form than Collingwood. So I would have thought that based on form at the start of the finals, I think Brisbane were more likely to win than Collingwood, just on form.
You're not doing this off your preseason predictions.
Pardon?
You're not doing this off your preseason predictions.
Well, I would have had them top
pre-season.
2, wouldn't I? I had them top 3.
You'll have to revisit that.
I know, so I can't remember. I can't remember where I had them.
Because I remember we were very strong once the trade got made that
They
it
should
was
make grand final.
It was grand final or bust. So it's kind of like hard to give them much more of a pass. But I do understand that. Like
I do get what you're saying as well. Because
prelims are so hard.
Literally every single review I did, I said based on my pre-season predictions, and now all of a sudden I'm going against that. Because like you said, where's the middle ground? You can't go from a C to an A+ just because of one kick.
Nah.
But yeah,
But it's kind of where the footy is. Like ultimately they failed. 17 teams failed this year.
Yeah, technically. Yeah, you're right. Technically.
Like even one kick is the difference, but that's kind of the reality of the business.
Brutal game.
It is.
We love it.
Go footy.
Greatest game in the world, Tom?
Yeah.
That's what's been flagged as. Like Gil reckons.
Not
it's
sure.
the
I
greatest game
think
ever.
there'll be a few codes, like NFL, soccer. I think there'll be a few codes that'll take umbrage to that. That's the right word. Take exception.
Ownership?
Exception. That's the word.
Yeah.
I tried to use a big word, didn't work.
I feel like every code the manager of that league would say that their codes are
As they should be concerned if they didn't. They'd be concerned if they didn't.
mean they should, yes.
Yeah. They don't think well of themselves.
You happy? Is that enough Collingwood time, or you want to?
No, I didn't think you talk about that much. So yeah, I'm happy. Go Pies, back to back. Who actually really early predictions? Who's winning the flag next year? Who's winning the flag next year?
Really early.
Really
predictions.
stupid early predictions.
Because Dan said he got a really early predictions, or was Dan or Jacob? One of them said it. So who's winning the flag
Do
next
top
year?
4 next year. We'll do top 4.
Okay,
Collingwood, Melbourne, Port Adelaide.
I wouldn't have Collingwood one.
Nah, no. In the top 4 next year,
Yep.
the 3's pretty obvious. So it's Collingwood, Melbourne, and Brisbane.
I've got Carlton getting in there.
I've got Carlton in there too.
I had them missing the 8 this year.
I had them 8th, I think. Yeah, I think I've gone Brisbane, Collingwood, Melbourne, and then Carlton. I think Carlton will be in there. I just can't see Carlton going backwards.
I can, and it'll be fucking hilarious.
Oh, don't give me. I copped it from Emily because we were so me and Marcus were so anti-Carlton last week.
This must be the most
But-
Carlton-hating
Actually,
podcast.
it is. And the funny thing is, I think Oregon,
talked good about them last week. I
our
thought,
most
all the way
supported, our people that listen to us the most of them are Carlton supporters. That's what I used to get out. But yeah, we talked about shit about Carlton for our viewers, but it's funny.
You need a
Well,
Carlton
should we go to-
representative in
Yeah,
one time.
Emily's like, I'm coming on next year to talk about Carlton. So
No.
we need to give a Carlton supporter a chance to talk because we'll just grill them.
Okay, someone that enhanced their reputation over the finals period.
Okay,
Give us a player.
I've got a few here, but we'll go. Can you go first, Corey?
Yeah, I've got one that comes to mind. Joey Danaher for me.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
fantastic grand final day, I thought. Like,
All
even,
year.
Even in that first half where I'm not sure did he kick goal in the first half?
Yeah,
I'm not
one.
sure.
I'm not
sure.
One?
One?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
Regardless, especially in that first quarter, he had influence, and I thought he was spectacular. I think he kicked the most goals in the final series as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Obviously, playing 3 games helps, but yeah, I thought he was awesome. And obviously, unfortunately for Marcus, the move up to Brisbane did wonders for him and his career.
He's done it all year since like that 3rd or 4th round. Pretty much became the own that forward line. Like was the big man, dominant man. Like I remember bagging him a lot
Yeah.
at the start of the year. But what I've seen this year, he's finally owned the responsibility of being it for the forward line as a big man. So
There's not a lot of carry on from him anymore, is there? Well, certainly
Not
a lot
really,
He's
less
so
for me.
quiet. He doesn't celebrate anymore.
Yeah, he seems to
Doesn't
be.
celebrate.
Yeah, I don't know. A lot more level-headed, a lot more professional. He's really taken ownership of that forward line.
yeah, so that's good, and he's going to keep doing that in the next 12 months.
He's
My
a
person that's enhanced their reputation, especially through finals this year, is Sam Walsh.
No, that was my one. And I'm so cut, Fletch, before you give your reasoning. I was talking to Emily about it, and literally an hour before he got announced, I was like, Emily, listen in. I'm going to talk about Carlton play. I'm going to talk about Sam Walsh being the best finals player. And then he goes there and wins the best finals player. So now I look like a basic bitch. Now I just said it because he won it. So sorry for interrupting. Go on. But
What he did in that fight, I mean, it was just short of it. Yeah, it was pretty good. I'm not going to say it at all. But he was the best player for Carlton
by a fair way.
by country mile. Like when you consider you got the Coleman, reigning Brownlow medalist, he blew them out of the water and said, "This is my team almost."
He really lifted. That's what's so impressive about it.
Yep.
Bloody oath did. So, and for someone that was probably a hard runner and could win the ball in any part of the ground, but definitely had the finishing skills. Kicked that 2 or 3 goals with 30 odd touches in that semi-final. I think it was against Melbourne, and really stood up when it mattered most. Like in the fourth quarter, goals in the fourth quarter. On the run. So, in a close final, which this player is only 3 or 4 years into his career, 4 or 5 years into his career. Like the way he stood up for his first finals, I can't wait to see him next year.
I think the issue's been his kicking. His ability to rack up the footy has never been an issue.
Well, he's had
But
his
his
critics
kicking,
about that.
his
hasn't
kicking's been a big issue for multiple years now. So he's been an elite runner and a great outside user that can't kick. So I think when we saw in finals, he became a lot better at that. You're right, kicked a few goals. We're seeing the goal kicking mid's becoming so important now. Collingwood kicked so many goals in their midfield in the grand final. So, I think it's fair to say he's gone under the radar. Like
A little bit, yeah.
Like a couple years ago, Kane Corns came out and said Rosie will have a better peak than Walsh, and he got absolutely abused. And right now, I think everyone would say Rosie has been better than Walsh in their career. Would you say that?
No.
I reckon they would.
No. In a
Walsh-
whole
Walsh
entire
has
career.
been this good
More
since he started.
has he
for me.
though?
I think so.
Well,
But
Not-
Rosie's best has been better than Walsh's best
Yeah,
so far.
Yep. Yeah.
So far, yeah.
No.
Really?
Not what we just saw this final series, no.
Well, final series, yeah. Up until the final series, I think Rosie's
Oh.
best has been better than Walsh's best.
Okay, I thought you were saying right now.
No. Right now, what Walsh showed then shows he's a better player than Rosie.
That's the thing about enhancing your reputation,
Correct.
isn't it? It brings these things into dispute.
Correct. But
And he did it in finals. Like Rosie's done this in the season. That's
Rosie-
good. That's
Rosie
good.
fell over.
he actually did flow in finals.
Yeah,
He did. He did.
completely fell over.
I say mine. My
Yep.
best. Oh, mine was Sam Walsh. I'm annoyed about that. It's boring. It's Bobby Hill. It is Bobby Hill. He was barely getting. I know he was in one game, but I think he's announced himself
It
now.
wasn't just one game. Didn't he kick 4 in the first one? Or
Did he?
I swear he went nuts. And
Oh, when what?
I'm pretty sure
He kicked a couple.
4
He
in.
kicked at least a couple. I know that, but I just think he's announced himself as one of the best small forwards in the game now. He's not better than Cameron Papley, but I think he's getting around that Isaac Rankin level.
No, I'm with you, man. He had a great final series. It wasn't just a grand final for me. I swear he dominated in either. It was either the first or second final. I'm not going crazy on this.
Bobby Hill
He-
stats. Let's have a look. Fletcher, I've got it here.
He had 3 goals in the first finals,
There you
11
go.
touches. So he
There
was
you
very
go.
good. I think
Yeah.
it was because he pushed up half forward very high.
You know why I remember it so much? It's
He-
because
8 goals
bloody
in 3
David
games.
King flagged it before the game as his player to watch, and I hate it when King is right. And Bobby just comes out and torches him, kicks 3.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
no, he was a good all final series.
Yeah,
Bobby
8 goals in 3 games with 12 tackles.
Well, how about his motivation for grand final day, mate? Watching Cyril highlights.
Yeah, I mean,
Cyril
and Marcus,
grand final highlights.
and Marcus put in the chat. This is like prime Cyril. Like
Yeah.
at the second quarter, he was that much. It was like men against boys. The second quarter, how much he dominated, had an influence on that game. But yeah, it's an easy answer because he won the Norm Smith. But I just think he's announced himself as I think he's a top 5 small forward in the game at least now. At least he's not better than Papley. He's not better than Cameron. I'm trying to think of any other obvious ones.
Luke Bruce.
No, he's better than Bruce.
Ooh,
They're two different players, aren't they?
Is he better than Bruce?
Is he better than one? I want to talk about is
Bruce
Rankin.
kicked a lot of goals.
He did.
And
But-
he's got a lot bigger body of work.
But I think he's a bit more of a lead-up small forward, I think, Bruce. It's a little bit.
He's a crumbing small forward.
Is he? He's old and slow.
He's the best crumbing small
Old
forward
and slow.
of the
Hate Hawthorne.
last 10 years.
Hawthorne gets stuffed. Finn McGuinness
He wouldn't be
ruined-
any better than
ruined
Rankin.
He also
Dacos'
has
brown
3
line.
flags.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. Is he better than Isaac Rankin, Bobby Hill?
I don't think so.
I mean, Rankin kicked more goals, so you could probably say Rankin right now. But it's a discussion.
He's putting his name there.
Yeah, it's a discussion now.
Yeah.
It wasn't a discussion for the finals, Fletcher.
No, go mate.
Definitely not a discussion
Yeah,
before
Absolutely
five.
not. I don't think he kicked more than 3 before the final started. Did he?
In a game,
Yeah,
Probably had.
once.
pretty
Once.
Once.
sure. Yeah.
So there you go.
So then he kicked 3 and 4.
So yeah, okay, I take back that Rankin one. But I think it's like he's around the mark now.
Yeah, and finals help when you do that on the final stage, so it looks a lot better. But now I guess the expectation to do that all the next season will be
Yes,
interesting.
I wouldn't know how many goals he kicked this year, but it wouldn't have been more than 35.
He spent a lot of time out, didn't he?
He kicked 33 for the year.
But how many games did he play?
Or
So I
24.
think-
24.
So that includes.
Oh, he's played
finals.
24 games.
Yeah, they include finals. So he's next year to elevate himself to that Rankin, Cameron, Papley level. He probably needs to kick 45 goals.
Say Bruce's name.
I guess, yeah, goals wise, yeah, Bruce. Sorry.
It's just about all Australian, you bastard.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay, Bruce. Sorry. It's just that when he played for a bad side, you just don't get recognised. I didn't realise how good a year Bruce had.
Kicked 50-something goals.
I know. I didn't realise how good a year he had. Because he just plays for a bad side. Plus, Finn McGuinness ruined Dacos' brown line, so he can get stuffed.
Yeah,
Hawthorn.
just shut up and watch my boys, would you?
God. Are you two done?
Oh, we're done. What's next, Fletch?
Will they go? Moving
Some
on.
trades. We're obviously now the season's over, so we're going to talk about some trades. Hawthorn put their line in every pond and not caught a single fish.
We're not bringing anything home.
Like
Coming on empty.
Hawthorn wouldn't even know how to get.
Cue the
it
baked
done right
beans,
now.
love.
We're coming home with a pick 3 that'll eventually be pick 6.
Yeah.
And we'll come home with another midfielder we don't need.
The biggest thing we'll talk about is Clayton Oliver. Let's be honest here.
Mm-hmm.
This is. I did not expect this a month ago. The fact that they were willing and very much open and almost prefer to move on from Clayton Oliver after signing him to a 7-year deal. It wasn't last off season. I think it was the season before. I think he's done 2 years of it. No, he hasn't. It must have been last
He
season.
signed midway through last year.
Yeah, it's been one.
Okay, and that starts end of this year or end of last year?
The contract.
Yeah.
He would have been a free agent now.
This
So
year.
starting-
So
starting now.
Starting
Yeah.
now, 7 years from now. Shit.
2030.
And they are looking to get off his deal before it even starts.
Yeah, all the deals are most people's long deals are leading up to 2030 because of the player bargaining
CBA.
agreement. Yeah,
I can't believe they've wanting to get him out and he's going to get out. Do you think they'll just get whatever the best package is, or do you think they'll get the best package in terms of draft picks and players, or do you think they will get what they need? And we all know what they need. It's a tall forward. So which way do you reckon they'll lean towards?
Can't see how that. Who's getting rid of key forward? I think the only one I've seen is Corns floated up Oliver for Mackay, but how can the Blues afford an extra $300,000 a year?
And would they want another mid? They don't really need another mid.
The midfield's already one of the best in the comp.
you don't trade away something that you're just going to go looking for again, Tommy.
That's true. And yeah, like they've got the best midfield. You can make a case with the best midfield in the comp. They do not need Clayton Oliver. I think it'll just be a lot of draft picks. I just can't see any players that are going to go. The one that I thought until he got signed about 5 minutes before he started was Aaron Norton. But then the Dogs don't need another midfielder either.
No.
So yeah, I can't see a key forward being done personally. I think it'll more be a couple of first rounders, a future first. It has to be a lot. It has
It's
to
at
be a
least
lot.
3 future
He's
firsts,
a top
isn't
5 mid in the game. You can make his top 3 mid in the game.
He's the best mid in the game on his day. He's the best mid in the game.
Would you take him over Bond?
Most talented, I'll give you.
Well, it's two different.
It's hard. They're two players, aren't they? He's minimum.
He's
top
the
3.
best inside mid in the game.
Yes. Yeah.
And ball winning mid in the game.
Yep.
Different when you ask him to go.
Clearance beast.
He
Yeah.
is the best clearance game.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Do you know Ezekiel Elliott?
Yes.
Do you know him with the
Running-
bowl of
Oh,
cereal?
yeah.
That's what he's like
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
clearances.
Yeah.
He eats.
So it's two different types of players, but he's one of the best at that, or he is the best at that.
Yeah.
Pretty comfortably. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the only problem is if you take draft picks, Max Gawn is not getting any younger. So those draft picks are going to do nothing unless they can swap that for a forward somewhere else. It doesn't really help them.
Well, how long do you reckon their window is? That's probably a lot of it.
I think it's 2 years.
Yeah. So.
And it's not based on Petrarca or May or Lever.
It's Gawn.
It's Gawn.
Yeah.
Gawn is the most unicorn player in the league, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
Yeah.
He can be a third defender or second forward or then a midfielder and then be the ruckman at the same time. He just makes them overpower in every position. And he's only got 2 or 3 seasons at this sort of level.
He won't have 3. Just as I feel he's had a lot of issues with injuries. I just can't see it being 3. But yeah, I think I wouldn't say they go off a cliff when he leaves, but I think their time of being the best, being a top 3 side in the comp, they probably become a top 6, 7 side of the comp.
They don't have that special fact that unicorn factor. Like they're just really good like everyone else. They don't quite have that thing that can just put them above and set them above anyone.
That I agree with.
And like draft picks, you get draft picks. Those draft picks aren't going to be there and ready to go when Gawn's in their window. So they've almost got to trade them out to get a forward, which you may as well do that with Oliver. But Oliver's probably too much for a forward, if that makes sense. Like he's worth so much, you can't get a forward worth that.
Yeah, I just don't think... Yeah, there's no deal around the league where you can find a forward that's actually going to sort of change the course of your season, I don't think. Like in terms of forwards that are available, like you've got Chol.
Yeah, they ain't doing that.
Who couldn't get a game for the Suns. And then you got... I don't know.
Thoughts on Ben King?
I don't think he's gettable.
Free agent end of next year.
Is it 2? I think it's 2 years.
Next year. And then he has the opportunity to himself trigger 2 more years on top of that. That's himself.
Oh, yeah. And then after
he's got 1 more year left.
Unrestricted.
Well, Melbourne should be throwing the kitchen sink at him.
And the only thing is that...
His manager's known for getting him to that 8-year mark. And once you played 8 years in the system, you can then move teams however you like. It's not compensation. You just are unrestricted free agent. So he's got to get to 8 years, which is 2 more years after this year.
Yeah.
So that's what his manager's really well known for, doing that. So I think
he's the most gettable key forward.
Is he gettable though?
1 more year, they can't let him go for free, man.
You've seen Damien Hardwick walk in the door and says 80% of the list is here.
I agree that I don't think he goes, but I think he's more gettable than any
I think he's more
forward.
gettable next year than this year. But that's not
it's probably fair. But I just think that 1 more year left.
In their window.
Yeah, exactly right. It doesn't help him, but if it goes wrong next year with Dimmer, then I feel like he might wiggle his way out.
I can't think of any other key forwards. So I think the most likely one is just a bunch of first round picks.
And then just move them for players.
And then just try and look for players for that. Or just back what they've got and hopefully have those. And hope that get some draft picks around Van Ruin that for the next wave. But they feel like they're in a win now phase, aren't they? It's a hard one. And surely something's happened here. He's one of the best players in the comp, and he's up for trade. I think I read today that apparently he's not happy that they reckons the training staff mismanaged his injury.
Yeah, for sure.
There's also rumours.
But they look at it that he didn't do enough.
Ditch those ones, I think. That has to be rubbish.
It has to be. They're on the nose beards. Yeah. I also saw one yesterday that he tried to make his infected foot after his final back from injury was, of course, from a self-tattoo. Oh. So, again, that probably sounds rubbish, but...
Right, yeah.
I mean, it looks like a rough blow, so it wouldn't surprise me. But no, it's probably mismanagement of his injury, isn't it, Fletcher?
But from everything that's been said, he thinks that the club mismanaged him, and the club thinks that he didn't do everything right to get back on the track. So they're not saying eye to eye of what the issue is. So that's where this has come from. And if a club wiggles in there and pretty much gets close enough to Oliver and convinces Oliver that you should come to us because they're not doing right by you, then Melbourne lose all leverage in this trade. Because he can just turn around and say, I'm not playing next year and you can pay me $1 million. So they're in a very fine line that they could lose a lot of leverage on someone that should be worth an absolute fortune. So they're wiggling that tightrope again.
How many first round picks are he worth? 3?
Well, it's hard to say. 'Cause if it's past pick 5, then he's worth 5 or 6 for him. But if there's a couple in the 1s, 2s, 3s, then it's probably 3 first rounders.
I wouldn't even pick up the phone for less than 2 first round picks. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd probably have. I think the current thing, Adelaide was the front runner, and I think they were 2 first rounders and a future first, or was it 2 first rounders, future second? Shane McAdam. So yeah, I think it's minimum 3. Personally, but it's a lot. Like we talk about it all the time. Fletch, they'll also end up accepting unders. He'll pull rank. He'll be like, well, I want to get out of here, and AFL club will pay unders for him.
That's if he requests that trade, right?
Yeah,
like, at the moment, it's all a bit of noise.
Speculation, isn't it? Yeah, for sure.
And they could even have a deal done. He doesn't want to leave, and it doesn't happen. So,
correct.
Could be nothing, but
Although all this news broke yesterday, and we haven't really heard from either camp in terms of Melbourne
it's less
or Oliver yet, which is concerning.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's concerning from Melbourne's point of view that you're not backing in and saying, "Yeah, we want him." It's like,
Yeah.
Player
you
of
don't
his
want him.
caliber should take less 24 hours.
Should have
Should
heard
be
from someone by
immediate.
now.
So shut up. We want him.
Yeah.
So they haven't said anything. You're right. So it's swelling.
Tom Doedee off to Brisbane. Happy? Or-
It's a great deal, isn't it? They need it.
Pies miss out.
I know. I wanted him, then I realised, do we need him? But
Brisbane don't need him either, but it's just
Well,
a nice
I mean-
backup.
Well, he just slots in and boots out O-leg.
He would, yeah. For Collingwood, he would. But Brisbane, yeah, I like it. He's a good player. He's really good. I think he's underrated.
He
I
has
think
yeah.
he's been pretty good, man.
He's
He's been pretty good. I think he's made all the Australian squads. I think he's been pretty good. Like not the whole, not the side, but the 40.
I know it's what it is,
And
yeah.
well, I think I'm not surprised because he wanted to be captain. Like everyone thought he'd be the next captain, and they gave it to someone else.
Dawson.
They gave it to Dawson. Like everyone said, Doedee was going to be the guy, but
Yeah, but Dawson's the guy.
Dawson,
You know,
he's that
Dawson's
guy.
the
He's
man.
him. He's that
Yeah.
guy. But no, I like it personally. Depends on how much they're paying him, but I just think my only thing is they've got, because Starsfish looked pretty bad against small forward. So do they need Payne, Andrews, Doedee, and Starsfish?
Starcevic is sort of.
He's
Well,
more
he
a
normally
middle-
takes a small side, doesn't he?
I thought he did, but he got exposed by Hill. Like he might be more of an Elliott. He might be on a bit of a medium forward, like a Bailey Fritsch type. But
And it's hard to lock down that quality of small forward,
that's
isn't it?
true.
With that leg speed.
there's not many people quicker than Bobby Hill. But
Yeah.
I like it. Doedee's been really solid for quite a while, Fletch. So I'm a big fan of it.
He fits in perfectly down there at Brisbane.
Yeah.
It's,
All right, and the last team, Port Adelaide. How do they get Brandon Zerk-Thatcher and Asava Radic there when they got nothing?
What are they worth, boys? What are they?
Yeah.
What are they worth?
Well, I would have said Asava, and I know Chris Stott played hard to get, but he ended up out of his side when you had your full back six there, so he mustn't be that good. But they're going to play hardball. His contract says he should be he should be in the 20s ish, low 20s ish.
Yes.
But his production is 30s, in my opinion, maybe even 40s.
Yeah.
Like, high 30s, not 40s. I wouldn't really touch 40 for him, but yeah. So it's I don't really know, to be honest with you. Like, I
It's
know
all
it
about
tells
what
you-
Port's willing to give up, I guess.
Correct.
How
But Port's got
desperate are
nothing
they?
because of Jason Francis last year.
Yeah, no, I get
They've got
yeah.
pretty much nothing sitting there. So, and they've also got to get Brandon's Zerk Thatcher done. So,
They have to make some moves to get some draft capital into the club.
Yeah. I don't mind. I see Sava. He's very like. I'd love to hear Riley's thoughts on him. When a move happens, we'll have Riley in to talk about it. But he's very hot and cold with Sava. So he's looked amazing at stages. He's also he gave away some stupid free kicks. I like, because as we said, that positions become more and more popular. Problem is, Aliir is the same. I don't think either of them are a number one key defender.
no, but at least it's two of them.
At least there's two of them, yeah. But I just think they need one that's like a lockdown. Like Collingwood's got Murphy's like a lockdown. I know more players than the key guy, but I don't know. I just feel like it's still the same player. And Zerk Thatcher's just a... What even is Zerk Thatcher? Like what is a Zerk Thatcher, honestly? Like he just... I don't know, just the fact that Dora asked for a first round pick is insane.
He's a man
He's
who gets
he's
pounded.
tiny. He's really small. He's like 190 centimeters something. That's not a key defender height. That's a third tall. I don't
That's
know.
all right for him.
I don't mind as a third because they're so depleted there. They need anyone right now. I reckon you get a game as a defender for them, Corey. But
Oh, come on, seriously.
you were a pretty good halfback back in the day, or winger.
Not my scene. Defending is not my scene. I run one way.
But I just can't. You're right, Fletch. They got no trade, like no pieces to trade. Like I agree. I think Asava is I think he's in early 30s, and I think Zerk Thatcher's a 40s to 50s.
Poor.
I'd say like 40s.
Yeah.
50
I
on
mean,
bits,
he is young.
You're paying. Yeah, you're probably paying for his age a bit. That you hope he takes the leap because he's young. So I'd say
put on a bit of weight and hope, I guess.
Yeah. So maybe in early 40s. But
He seemed to really struggle against the real bigger body sort of key forwards in here.
To be
So-
fair, he played Essendon when they needed a freaking key back, and he's 190 centimeters.
Yeah.
Tough kick.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. Hawkins ragdolled him. Tex ragdolled him.
Yeah, he needs to play as a third tall, in my opinion. But we'll see. They usually when they get linked this heavily, it gets done somehow. So it probably will.
Yeah, but normally that team has at least some sort of draft picks to trade with. Puna has not much. So
Nothing.
They always have to trade away a player to try and get something in, but that's dangerous game.
Also,
Like
talking
Ollie
about
Wines?
Essendon, Dodoro will just get fucking...
What about Ollie Wines to Sydney?
Ollie Wines? Because this reeks of Tom Mitchell. He's playing out of position. People are forgetting he's a Brownlow medalist. This reeks of Tom Mitchell. And Sydney have struggled with the contested footy for a long time. I think this could be a great decision. And then,
Is he the vice captain?
yeah, I think so.
He used to be the captain, didn't he?
I don't know.
Who is the captain? Tom Jones was captain this year.
Jonas.
Who's going to be captain next year?
Maybe they'll give him the captaincy and that'll keep him. I don't know.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Butters is too young.
But it's probably a tad young. Probably a year or two away.
Charlie Dixon can't give it to him.
No, it doesn't play.
Doesn't play.
Tom Marshall's too young. So I don't think he's a
Oh,
leader anyway.
Jesus.
Gross. He's not a
Travis
leader.
Broke's too old.
Why don't you give
Bro-
it to Willie
And then-
Rioli or something?
They got no one, Fletch. They got no one.
Who are the leaders at the football?
Alir Lee. Alir Lee is the only one I think of.
He's only been like 2 years.
Doesn't matter.
Sure, not.
He's the only one I think has any sort of leadership qualities. And he's not like Butters. Butters is eventually going to be the guy.
Yeah.
But I think it's not yet. I think he's a year.
Process will be-
I think they're a year away. Brayshaw got
It's
it.
a young year away. Like it's gonna be even a year's time. They're gonna be still young.
Yeah.
Like still very young players.
Yeah.
Maybe 24, 25. Trying to lead some players. So
Yeah.
that's harsh.
Yeah. Who knows? But there you go.
Pretty interesting.
So I reckon Wines deal would unlock those deals.
I like that. I mean, it's a great fit. Yeah.
They don't need
Especially
Wines.
with no Callum Mills now.
Yeah,
Swans,
wow,
mate.
the silly bugger. Thought WWE was real. He got himself with a
It's not real?
shoulder off the bone. Oh, sorry to all the kids that thought it was real. I thought it was real back in the day.
Oh, that rattled me.
Aaron and I would fight, and he'd always win. He'd just sit on me. He always in a different weight class.
He got beat up by a younger brother.
He was bigger than me all the time.
Yeah, right.
He had the weight class on me.
Yeah, nice.
But
You were the run to the family.
pardon?
You were the run to the family.
Correct. But it might unlock a few deals. But I don't think he leaves Wines, but I wouldn't hate it. I just think he's too good to be playing on the wing. He's not a winger.
Well, yeah, he's in the wrong role for a week.
He's in the wrong role. He's not quick enough for a winger. He's a bull.
Inside mid.
He's just Tom
Inside
Mitchell.
mid.
He's just Tom
Inside
Mitchell.
mids seem to grow on trees.
They do.
And you want them, but then when it stops working, they're the first ones out the door.
Yes, because they're too slow.
Yeah.
They're too slow.
Yeah, exactly right. You're the problem.
All right, another good season of footy.
Good, just good.
One for me.
Unreal.
That's one of the better seasons.
Yes, Fletcher, you're selling it short. One of the best seasons of footy we'll see in a long, long time.
I liked the mid 2010s.
Of course you did. I wonder
Just
why. Who do you go for again?
Oh, those poos and wees, mate.
Yeah, those Prues and Wees. I
Those
wonder
Poos
why
and
you like
Wees.
those. But yeah, one of the better seasons of footy. Yeah, I mean, footy's great.
Even just the final series, the amount of close games, just week after week.
It was a great season, and the finals just kind of just topped it all off.
Emotional roller coaster.
It was.
To tease our NBA season coming up.
Ooh.
Oh,
And you're an NBA guru, better than me.
you know, Corey
I like to think
absolutely knows more than I do.
Long time NBA fan.
We gotta keep it short and sweet. Sorry. Who won the trade? Milwaukee. Who came out better? Milwaukee or Boston? Now I know they didn't directly trade with each other,
yeah.
but who do you like better in the East now?
I think it has to be Milwaukee.
Oh,
Yeah. What
really?
you got Boston?
I love Boston's guards now, but they're tall as shit out.
Yeah.
Al Horford can't.
I think it's
Al Horford's gonna-
Porzingis good though, if he plays enough. Porzingis had a good year. I had him in fantasy, and he was pretty bloody good.
Yeah, that's good. You're on the Wizards where nothing mattered. You can take 35
That's
foot
true.
bombs. Now you
He was very
play-
efficient last year.
Now
to
you
be
can
fair. He
play
was very
straight
efficient.
up defense and play within the system. It's a very different role.
I get that. Yeah, I get that.
But the Drew Holiday, Brown, Jason Tatum, no one's scoring against those guys.
I know that, but you know who their competition is in the East. It's the teams like Milwaukee with Giannis and the 76ers with Embiid.
Yeah.
Like they're going to run into bigs.
I know.
And Porzingis,
I don't trust, especially now that they lost Rob Williams as well.
Yeah.
That's a big loss.
But
I think.
you got one.
I feel like Porzingis is a pure rim.
Bring Dwight back.
I don't think Porzingis can play in the post with like an Embiid. I think he's too small. He's a rim protector, but he's not a lockdown an Embiid type, is he?
He doesn't touch the paint. This man sits on the 3-point line all day.
He can block shots. But not on Embiid and Giannis.
He
It's
can't
like, no.
straight up defend bigs. He can
No.
block shots.
You're right. He just sits under the. He sits in the corner on offense, and he just sits in the key and just waits to block little guy shots.
Yeah. He's not straight up defending someone. In the
No. I'm aware of that.
Who's better than this?
I still think Milwaukee too.
Well,
I just think
the team that crumbled against Miami.
I just think that the
Yeah,
space.
how
I just
about
think Lillard finally gets to be in an offense. Like Lillard gets to be an offense where he's not the main guy. They have to put some attention to Giannis, and Giannis gets to be an offense where there might be some spacing so he can attack the rim. I think it's perfect.
Yeah, Milwaukee really fixed a need. They were missing out on a closer and someone that could actually score late in games.
My only thought is defense. They've gone from Drew to Dame,
Yeah, offense with you.
but the offense will probably make up for it, won't it?
Just a star talent.
If Middleton can get healthy, they are the best. I reckon that you make a case of the best side in basketball. If Middleton can stay healthy.
You're probably right there. Like, Middleton is the one that they need to be there.
Yep.
Otherwise, it doesn't work.
He's healthy right now, but that knee was an issue for close to 2 years. Who knows?
All right, Tommy. Send us out because it's your podcast.
Thank you all for listening to the Collingwood special. Corey, thank you for jumping on.
Pleasure as always, Tommy.
We'll definitely get you on.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Finally, I was feeling the effects for a couple of days after, but we'll definitely get you on the NBA podcast too, because I know you, while you're a great football man, you very much know your NBA stuff too, and I go hiding when the NBA season comes around, so to have you would be great. So,
Don't hear from him.
the return of Riley next week will be when we lose Fletcher and gain Riley, so one in, one out. We've upgraded, I think. Go from a man from Greece in, a man going to Darwin out.
Does that make Riley the host?
No, I am introing the show next week. He can't tell me otherwise. No, I am. Fletcher's shaking his head.
Fletcher's not convinced yet.
I am saying, hello and welcome back to the Pub Test Podcast. I'm your host, Tommy.
Bring back It's Your Boy.
I
It's
will.
been a while.
It has been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
It's supposed to be more formal. But,
Very professional.
yes, no. Riley's not the host. Fletcher's just texting me because his mic wasn't working. But yeah, thank you all for listening. Tell a friend, tell a stranger. And see you next week.